Good evening, everyone. You're here at the Halifax Board of Selectmen's meeting for Tuesday, November 28th. As always, we are being filmed by Area 58 Community Access Television, available to you on your community access television stations and YouTube. We will start this evening, as always, with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Has everyone had an opportunity to read the agenda?
No changes.
Kim, did we put in the executive session for control?
Yep.
Yes, it's on. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Selectmen's minutes. Regular,
No, that's good.
no, go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we approve the regular session for October 23rd, regular session for November 20th, and executive session for October 24th.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Mr. Garin, you want
I move to affirm the approval of the following warrants and commitments. Vendor warrant number 45 for $101,785.80. And ambulance commitment 11A for $55,980.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Move to approve the following warrants and commitments. Payroll warrant number 46 for $365,513.84. Vendor warrant number 47 for $50,276.27. Withholding warrant number 48 for $134,275.61. And ambulance commitment 11B for $745.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
I move to approve the following selectmen's bills from November 28, 2017. Town report dash 195, Harry B. Harding and Sons, special town meeting warrant, $495. Law account dash 151, miscellaneous KP Law professional services through October 31st, $772.19. Selectmen's expense account, administrative reimbursement from petty cash, $36.93. Town hall electricity, National Grid, $1,134.81. Selectmen's expense account, MMA, monthly meeting, $40. And youth and rec concession stand expenditures, National Grid electricity, $32.47. That completes the
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next, we'll go into general mail. We'll have Mr. Seelig walk us through that.
Just so the board realizes, we've been working with the collector to review all the licenses and permits that are coming out for renewal as to whether all the permit holders are in good standing with the treasurer's office. We're going to need to have one revocation hearing on the 12th with Evergreen Beverages. That's scheduled for 8:15. There are arrears. Notice of the hearing went to them today.
Could we back up, because I know, a lot of people have holding companies. Which location is that?
It's Twin Lakes, right down the second one from the bottom.
Okay, thank you.
We have a new school committee vacancy, Kim Saccone.
Sassoni.
Resigned effective November 21st.
That's too bad.
If the board wanted to send a note to her.
I would move that we send a letter of thanks to Mrs. Coney for her services to the town, and hopefully she will see fit to come back to us sometime.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
The school committee chairman had indicated to me that the school committee wanted to have a vacancy filled, so I started the process of publicizing that. We've already gotten 2 town bank forms in. Sometime after probably the second half of December, we'll have a joint meeting with the school committee to work out who to fill that slot. That person would fill it until this coming May. There's another year left on the term, so that person could run for the rest of the term or not, or whatever. That process has started. Recycling contracts. Susan Johnson has had some problems with delivering recyclables to various sites. They've been closed or been problems receiving them. What she's asked is that the town sign a 3-year agreement with the facility in Avon, WM Avon Inc., so that they will in fact receive the recyclables. The pricing on it is variable based on the market conditions for each type of recycling. So the price on any given week or month may be going up and down for what they receive. But she feels that we need to have a certainty as that we're always going to have a place during that time period to bring the recyclables. In this case, there are 2 copies. The contract would be signed just by the chair.
I make a motion that we authorize Tom to sign the contract with his recycling.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
395 Plymouth Street, the building inspector has notified the owner that the building inspector is requesting a building evaluation to determine if the structure meets the minimum requirements under the building code. There's no action needed by the board, but I felt the board should be aware that Rob is continuing efforts to improve the situation there at 395. OCPC had contacted me earlier this week about an ongoing Route 106 corridor study. We'll be looking at from the 106 from West Bridgewater Center to Route 3, not Route 31, Route 3A over in Kingston. We're going to be collecting data and we'll be developing recommendations for the street. Representatives from OCPC are going to meet with the Traffic Study Committee on Thursday the 14th at 9 in the Selectmen's meeting room. If a quorum of the board is interested in attending, I'll post it just on that basis.
I'll be there because I'm on the board, so.
Yeah, I'll probably attend that.
Pine Street Bridge, we're waiting to hear back from the highway surveyor about the status. The boards are going to be bringing that back up in a couple of weeks, but Mass Highway issued an updated status report of the condition of the bridge, and I passed along a copy to the highway surveyor. The board had noted a few weeks ago, well actually now a couple of months ago, that the entering Halifax sign over on the Plimpton line was in pretty poor condition. It'll be by for Mass Highway, and they do intend to replace the sign. Alcohol licenses, it's time to do your annual inspections and divvy up, and Ms. Roy has assigned people to various things.
Yes, well, it's all in our comfort zone. So, I will do BRs. I will do the Country Club of Halifax. Tom will do Grill 58. Troy will do Halifax Mobile. I will do the Happy Dragon.
If you can get in.
Yes,
Yeah,
if I can find a parking space.
How come you didn't do that?
Because I haven't gotten an egg roll there yet. Tom will be visiting Harmony 2 Liquors, Troy Lindy's General Store, Tom Lineville Tavern, and then I don't know if we need to visit the Evergreen given the hearing.
Well, you should,
So?
yes.
So Troy, Twin Lakes, and then Tom will do the T-Box.
Yeah, they're all in the same building.
Yes. All right.
Good. So we did have a request for a declaration of surplus equipment from the library. These are 2 Dell Optiplex 3010 computers from 2013. They said they're in good condition. With the approval of the board, I'll offer them to the departments. If there's no interest, I'll put it out for sealed bids. Because I think even, they're 4 or 5 years old at this point, but they're probably, for some people, that's a good enough computer if they're in good condition. Recycling abatements, Pam has continued to receive them. In some cases, I think Pam, one of them was that the person was, in essence, appealing again the previous decision by the board.
Yeah, he had called. And
Yeah.
the board
But we received a, did you give them new
There's a couple
copy?
sides,
Yeah.
I
I don't have them.
don't, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's just, I think, one or two.
So let's see.
So,
In one case, we had a resident ask for one of the selectmen who had voted on this to call, but that was already a situation where the board had already voted. I don't know if the board's going to be doing that or not.
I will be making the call.
Thank you, Joe.
Another one, Bill 768, the resident indicated never received a bill in September. They had been looking for it. She went on to explain the post office had missed making delivery of packages and letters. And near the end of September, they installed a new lockbox type of mailbox so the letters may have been delivered and would not be stolen. They've installed a surveillance system, which showed sometimes that the post office claimed to deliver something, but nothing showed on the system. So they're asking for the board to consider this and to please approve the abatement request. Pam did inform her that the original bill would have been mailed at the end of August. It was due and payable in September, and that the time for filing the abatement expired last month. She was very understanding and pleasant and thought it wouldn't hurt to ask for the abatement, and she's going to wait for a decision from the board.
I'll make a decision that, I'll make a motion, I'm sorry, that we do not approve the recycling abatement.
I'll second that.
Reluctantly, I'll second it, you know, because I like to be able to help our citizens out, but we set the precedent if we start bringing everyone in. I'm sure everybody's got a good reason, and I'm not downing anyone, but I just think at this time that we need to revisit the policy and see whether we want to change it for upcoming years, but at this point in time, I would have to vote second the motion.
I don't think we can do anything but deny it. It just wouldn't be fair to the people we've already denied. We'd be opening that whole thing up all over again. It's unfortunate, and well, that's enough. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
So I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor?
Right.
All right, unanimous.
And then we have Bill 526. There's no letter or anything attached. They did just sent in the abatement form and the letter from Dooley saying they were customers of Dooley.
I will make a motion that we deny that bill number as well.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
So, sign this. Free cash was certified earlier this month at $1,165,938. We do have a couple of major projects, including the replacement of fuel tanks over the highway barn. That will eat this up fairly quickly, but all that's going to be subject to articles being approved at town meeting in May. But it's probably the largest amount that we've seen in terms of free cash for a long time, possibly decades at this point. Mass collector's designation, Pam Aducci had received her official certification as a municipal collector from the Mass Collector and Treasurers Association earlier this month, and that's happened before. You've sent letters congratulating the individuals.
Yeah, I would recommend that we do send a letter to Pam and congratulate her on completing the certification.
Second.
We didn't do the other side of the page.
They didn't do the other side of the page.
School repair project, the next.
All those in favor?
Sorry.
Aye.
Right.
Now you can go.
School repair project, the next meeting's tomorrow here in the Selectmen's meeting room. It looks like the plan will be to go out to bid for the siding, roof, and windows in a couple of weeks with a deadline in early January for bids coming in.
Charlie, are we going to talk about the fire suppression system tomorrow?
Yes.
Is the building inspector able to be at that meeting at 1 o'clock?
Can you repeat?
The
Tomorrow's,
school repair meeting
What time is that?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock?
yeah.
Road opening, we already did that last time. Just really no progress on the junk car on Hillside Avenue, so if I don't hear back by the 12th, the fines go into place. We are waiting to see if we get any bids in from engineering firms for the pumping facility to help with the aluminum sulfate distribution in Monpont Pond. The bid deadline for those is the 30th. This is not for the construction facility, this is for the design.
I just want to remind you that we want to do a working group meeting at some
Yep.
point. I mean, we can do it in January, it would be great.
Yeah. Another junk car, this one is next to 395 Plymouth in a undeveloped lot. I had sent a certified letter to the owner. The brother of the owner came in to get an unregistered vehicle application. I'm going to wait a couple more weeks to see if anything results from that. The board had postponed discussion about land use council for tonight's meeting so that you had a full board available for that discussion. And do you know what the board would like to do in terms of proceeding on this?
Does anyone have any thoughts or any comments?
In all honesty, over the years that I've been here, I haven't had that much doing with land use council, and it's only been the last few years that it's come up. And you've been in your position, you're better expertise on that.
Just for the record, this isn't for anything of recent history. In particular, my sentiments, it's been over the course of 15, 20 years. I think, in my personal opinion, at times we have not gotten the best information, and certainly not in a timely fashion. I, for one, would like to utilize the services of a different law firm, at least for a while. I think we owe it to our boards and to the town in general to hopefully prevent unnecessary litigation. My personal opinion.
Did we receive a letter from the zoning board and the planning board as to their opinion?
Nothing,
Really?
I don't think so. I don't think anything came in.
Okay. I thought somebody had told me that they had sent a memo, but,
I know that various members have talked with various members of the board from time to time.
okay, but they haven't had any official.
I don't think,
Okay, all right.
I'd have to go, I could go back and look, but
No,
I don't
that's
think
fine.
I don't remember seeing an official letter from the board as a whole, whether the zoning or the planning
Nothing
board.
is permanent unless we sign up with a particular extensive contract with the individual, so if you don't feel comfortable with the firm that we do pick.
We have from time to time used other attorneys, so I'm not even sure if in fact we're in a contractual relationship.
We don't, there's no particular
Yeah,
contract with
right.
any of these firms. Basically, as long as we continue to call them up, they'll bill us.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
So in essence, it's not really a huge change here because we have in fact used other firms depending on the situation. It's just a matter of who we prioritize, I suppose.
Do you have a recommendation?
I have worked with the individuals involved with Copeland and Page, and I found them to be very helpful, not just knowledgeable, but helpful and responsive in a very timely fashion. And this is not to cast aspersions on the other folks. It's just that I have not seen that kind of consistency over my course of time where I've engaged councils or have had occasion to use counsel or interact with counsel.
Is there a motion?
If I can make a motion, I'll move that.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'll notify all three firms. Pope's Tavern project, Kim and I were at the meeting over at the building committee offices last week. Was it?
Yep, Tuesday.
Things are moving slowly. They've gotten the survey work done, but there's not a plan yet that shows both the bounds of the property along with the schematic of where the building would be placed. And in fact, I believe, Kim, if I'm wrong, you can tell me, was a lot of discussion about whatever they had planned, they're not going to go forward with, not in the sense of the project, but the location, because they feel that, I think it was the kitchen area was going to be too close to the street.
road.
So we're going to end up with a slightly new plan on that basis.
I guess I don't understand that. Is there some law which states that a kitchen can't be close to a road?
No, it's just any part of the structure.
Or because they specifically mentioned the kitchen?
Well, because that's the piece of the building that would be closest to the road, but just in terms of the outline of the building would be too, you still need, I don't know if they're going to, with the new plan, still going to need a variance from the ZBA.
In other words, the
certainly
footprint
they're
was too close to the road
Right.
and it changes.
It's already too close to the road, but it would make it even closer.
But the
In terms of the zoning setbacks. On a corner, the setback's 50 feet, which is more than it would be if it wasn't.
So I think during the first half of December, they're planning possibly 1 or 2 meetings, either separate meetings with the architect and the OPM or combined meeting with both.
Yes,
That's
I
what
think that John Campbell was planning on meeting with the architect first. I think it was like December 5th. And then the whole board was going to try to work with the OPM.
So that's where that project stands at this point. They're not ready, for instance, we won't go to the ZBA this month for any sort of variances, if any are needed. The earliest would be January. And we need to get those permits in place before we want to go to the construction document phase. Because if we're not going to get the variances that are needed, then we've got to come up with a different plan. Fiscal 19 budget, Finance Committee met with Kim and myself and Sandy Nolan, the town accountant, yesterday, reviewed the sort of macro outlook for the budget. We're in decent shape. We do have a plan in place for some of the debt. We have the Pope's Tavern and fire suppression system projects, where we're going to be making payments within the levy limit when we start making those payments. We won't be making any payments during fiscal 19 for any debt. But what we want to do is leave enough money on the table for fiscal 19 so that when those payments come due in fiscal 20, there's a place in the budget for that. It won't be competing with other line items and departments and such.
So we have a fictitious line item that we're accounting for.
As far as the other school projects are concerned, the recommendation is going to be that we start paying down that debt during fiscal 19. That will be debt exclusion debt above and beyond the levy limit. But with the interest rates so low right now, the idea is let's start paying that down as well as we can, so that when we do the permanent bond, we'll have less of a principal, paying less in interest, and that the taxpayers won't have to continue to pay interest on the entire amount of the bond. We'll be lowering that amount to the point where we finally go out to bond. Despite, aside from those things, we're in relatively good shape. The Finance Committee is recommending a level service budget so that any contractual increases that are mandated either under the wage and personnel bylaw or under the union contracts and such would be put into position. Our retirement assessment has been increased, but very, very little. It's only about 1.3%. Health insurance, we're going to take another hit, by about 10%, something on that order, but that's less than it was last year. Last year we saw increases between 11 and 19%, so 10% is better. And that's not certain. That's right now what Mayflower is looking at is sort of an industry-wide, okay, things are looking at 10%, but Mayflower by itself is right now running very well. We're not losing money based on the rates that were used for the year we're in now. So we'll see how those numbers come out.
How would every discussion been surrounding if in fact the federal government passes new tax package, how is going to affect?
On the health insurance?
The health insurance and medical.
We haven't gotten that far yet. It wouldn't, I mean, we had these plans in place before the Affordable Care Act. They'll still exist no matter what the federal government does.
The question's been asked of me, and that's why
Yeah, I mean, the biggest concern would be, because I know there were times this was floated, was that health insurance should no longer be something that employees can take before taxes are calculated. Therefore, become taxable, and therefore more money into the federal government coffers. I'm not sure where that's going to play out. It wouldn't affect the town directly, but it would, in essence, for the individuals, it would make those plans more expensive, not in terms of premiums, but that they would now have additional income that they have to have taxed. So we're ready to, unless the board feels otherwise, we'll get the budget letter and the budget's out later this week. Deadline would be the first week of January, probably, so I'm not sure if we're going to go with the 3rd or the 3rd, 4th maybe,
Yeah.
January. And we'll go into budget season. I don't have the executive session I think we need to do after the marijuana presentation.
Yeah.
And, but otherwise, I don't have anything else. Pam, any road openings or? We've got a few minutes before 8, so if the board wanted to momentarily adjourn to go upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll adjourn to go upstairs.
Perfect.
You want to vote to do that?
Yes, I'll
Yes.
make a motion that we adjourn for upstairs.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We're going to go upstairs for a informative session. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. What you're here for tonight is an introduction to a presentation for a marijuana growing facility here in Halifax that could be of some great benefit to the town. We're going to start with Mr. Andy Kushner, who is going to lead us in this and introduce the following people that will speak to us. Mr. Kushner.
Good evening. My name is Andy Kushner, and I work with 4 daughters, and I also work with the Halifax family on the development of this property. The purpose of our presentation tonight is to kind of the development of this property and introduce the project that we're talking about, which is a commercial greenhouse that we use for the cultivation of marijuana. What we'll be looking for is to get feedback from the selectmen, to get feedback from townspeople, and help us to work through the development of the property and ultimately come up with something that is accepted by all. Let me start off by just showing you the site, and then I'm going to kick it over to my colleagues to talk a little bit more about the business and how the property will be ultimately developed and the business will be run. So the property is currently owned by the Halifax family, which is the Cumberland Farms family. It's about 1,800 acres, located on the south border of Halifax. And the property is split between Halifax here, this dotted line of Halifax, and the middle of the south. This dotted area is a swamp, and the property is bordered on the front.
So you can see.
I may take one. So it's a River Street on the front, Thompson Street on this side, Route 105, and Wood Street here. The property is set at 1,800 acres. We have a contract to purchase a little less than 50 acres, which is this yellow triangle in the front, which has frontage along the river, right at the town line. So it's just this triangular piece. The property currently is a farm. They're growing pumpkins here and corn in the middle of the field. It's been farmed forever, for a long time. The facility that we're talking about development will be located somewhere in the middle of the property. So right off the street, 500 to 600 feet back from the street, with a natural buffer of wetlands along the front and be undisturbed, so there'll be very little visibility from the street of the building in the back. There are a few folks that live nearby. The closest neighbors are about a quarter of a mile here and here. It's about a half mile from here to Wood Street. The Halifax family is owned for a long time. The property is owned industrial. It's not within the jurisdiction of Chapter 61A. They paid full property taxes on it, so there's no tax recapture or rollback. It's not located near any schools or churches or playgrounds or anywhere the children congregate. And with that basic intro, I'm going to kick it over to my partner, Ryan Strider, who's going to talk about the greenhouse and the opening.
Could you just point out that, if you would, in relation to the map?
It's not on the map, but it's somewhere around here. Yeah.
Thanks, Andy. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Appreciate it. It's chilly out there. I think the party's over for us, unfortunately, with the weather. I'm Brian Strider, founder of Four Daughters Compassionate Care. We are a provisionally licensed medical marijuana company out of Sharon, Massachusetts, where we've been approved for to do cultivation and dispensing just about 2 miles away from Gillette Stadium, right on Route 1. Here in Halifax, we just want to do a cultivation project. We're not interested in dispensing. We have had this up on the town website. I don't know if everyone has had a chance to look at it. But it's basically the same thing that's been online for a couple of weeks now. And tell a little bit about Four Daughters Compassionate Care, which is our entity, and what we're doing in Sharon. It also introduces our investment team, which is a group out of Pennsylvania, who's getting into the cannabis space in Pennsylvania, Florida, California, and Massachusetts. And they're under the name of Solterra Care. We're doing a lot of work with Jefferson University in Pennsylvania under the medical marijuana program. And we have come together, and now we're trying to get out and be proactive and try and get a business off the ground here in Massachusetts that seems to be flourishing in other states that are doing it. We feel like Halifax offers us an opportunity to do that. Back in your May town meeting or your spring town meeting, you guys voted to accept the recreational tax if someone was to come to town. And that is something that in this industry we look for, towns that are proactive and interested in getting involved in this new revenue source that is coming to Massachusetts. So we have proposed a greenhouse project here on the farm, and we expect the revenue, a substantial revenue for the town, several $100,000, potentially over $1 million a year, depending on how the market plays out here in Massachusetts. We feel like we'll be able to sell pretty much everything that we grow at this facility, just looking at the market. So I've been involved since 2008 in the industry, and we see when a new industry comes to, when the recreational became legal in other states, there was tremendous shortage of cannabis, and we think we can capitalize on that opportunity by finding a town that is willing to move forward with the project and not put it on the back burner, put up a moratorium to see what happens next town over, but that appreciates this new source of revenue that can be tapped into. So we propose 100,000 square feet. Sorry about the screen and the projector being so small, but again, this is online at the Halifax website. The multi-phase project, starting at about 40,000 square feet, going up to hopefully 100,000 square feet if the market does what we expect it to do. And tonight I brought our cultivation specialist, Steve. I have our security expert, Thomas. So I'd like to just cycle them through, let them give it a couple minutes, and then we'll take a bunch of questions from the selectmen and the residents. So Steve, if you want to just tell us about how you're going to phase this thing out, maybe how many employees. Our goal is to hire as many local residents as possible. We're expecting, I think, 23 for phase 1 here, and we would love to hire everyone, all the people from the town of Halifax, if we can do it.
Sure. My name is Steve Garner. I'm involved, like I said, there's a group in Pennsylvania that's involved in this project here. I've done work with them in a number of other states. With the School for Horticulture, been doing hydroponic tomatoes, vegetables for the past decade. I've been involved in cannabis for about the last 4 years in a number of states, a number of roles, so I think I brought into the help. Guy designed this facility and how we really put something state-of-the-art in this town, something you can be proud of, something that can be successful as a business, and and try to do this the right way and as this market kind of develops here. So we can see on here's the triangle of property that we outlined on the past slide. That's about our 50 acres here, kind of zoomed in. Like I said, we're going for a multi-phase development here. We don't want to overbuild as the market starts out. We want to have the ability to expand if the market is there and if it's viable for us as a business. And for the benefit of the town here. So up here, the River Street alongside, we're proposing putting a paved road off of there. Like we said, have about 500-600 feet setback from the road. And then around the entire facility, we'll have a fence around the property for security purposes. And then within that, we'll have our employee parking, and then we start to construct our buildings down here. So phase 1 would be about a 40,000 square foot greenhouse with about 15,000 square feet of support space for storage of materials, processing of product, packaging of product, and receiving and sending out deliveries. From there, we would continue to expand on the property up in a modular fashion with our greenhouse, and like we said, eventually build out to we have the capacity to sell 100,000 square feet of greenhouse. That would be a very long-term plan at that point. Short-term, we're looking at about 40,000 square feet to start off, and up to 100,000 square feet on the fire lane, and potentially around the property if needed for access for fire trucks. And this gives a good idea of just the general layout of what we're looking at here. As we get into what these structures are, we certainly want to do a greenhouse production system here. We want to take advantage of the sunlight we have, be as energy efficient as possible, but at the same time build something state-of-the-art and secure. So if you take a look here, if you can see it well, this is what we call a Venmo greenhouse. It's kind of Dutch technology. It's the most state-of-the-art structure we can build for this type of purpose. It's very tall, we've got about 23, 24 feet of height from the ground to the top of this structure. Glass panels throughout, and it's a very a great environment for growing this plant, for tomatoes or any other plants. The one feature we want to highlight here, though, as there's always concerns with security of the building, the ability to see into it, see what profit is. We want to remain discreet and remain secure here. So what we've done on prior projects is we'll take about the first 10 to 12 feet of the structure, and we'll do solid metal panel walls. So anything human height or reasonably climbable, we'll do a solid wall there. And then on the remaining side wall, we'll do a diffused glass that you can't see through. I can stand 6 inches away. I don't know if that's a tomato on the inside or a cannabis plant. It's still always sunlight in there, and then our roof would be clear glass panels. That way we can get advantage of the sun. It's not something you can look in and see what it is. We get the security aspect of the solid walls on the bottom there. So, so we obviously, like I said, we've got that element for security, but we really want to go over the full, kind of security protocols that we've had in place here. So, like we said, we'd be proposing a 10-foot perimeter fence around the entire facility. We'll have a guard post to, that will be manned. So a gate there, and anyone who comes into the facility needs to be cleared by that security officer, and we'll be able to make it into the facility. That will be manned during any working hours, typically about 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then we'll have, additionally that, we go out today. throughout the entire facility, all egress, ingress from the facility, all rooms where cannabis will be stored, will be covered with cameras throughout, high-quality cameras, facial recognition. We'll be recording this camera footage. Will be backed up for a minimum of 30 days. So if we have an incident, we can go back. If anything arises, we can always go back and check that camera footage. And then we'll have our security professionals here tonight who will be 24/7 monitoring those cameras. So if we have an issue at night, if someone's approaching the property, at any time we can see what's happening there, and we can take the appropriate response. So, like I said, very, very solid coverage from that point of view. As we mentioned, the greenhouse, the first 10 feet of the structure will be solid walls, so it won't just be a glass pane that you could get very easily. Within the facility, all exterior doors and all doors that lead to storage of products or any vital kind of access point within will be FOB access. So employee will have their card. That's specific to their what areas they can access. So we have controlled access throughout the facility. So any employee cannot just go into any part. That's where you're allowed to go based on everything else throughout there. Any storage rooms that do contain product or storing product overnight for any extended period of time. We'll go through a number of protocols there. We have hour ratings on the doors. So you have 3-hour plus rating on a door where we're storing product. And we'll usually do cinder block construction on those storage rooms. So the premise being that it will take at least 3 hours to get into this room. We have security cameras on site. We have that 24/7 monitoring. We have the ability to respond quicker than anyone could possibly get to any product that would be within this facility. All shipments that will be entering or leaving the property, these will be done in secure vehicles. We'll have monitoring through with our security professionals. We have manifests. We know when they're going, where they're going. We'll be tracking them via GPS the whole time, and usually this is done with teams of 2 people. Same as if you're delivering cash and doing a armored vehicle and any other type of industry. So what we want to bring out of here is every step of the way we're putting in all these are systems that are used across the country. This is about as advanced as you can go as far as a security standpoint. We certainly have for our own reasons we want this to be as secure as facility as possible. We don't want any diversion of product occurring underneath our noses any more than you don't want it in your community. So we're taking every reasonable step we can to protect that facility. Aside from security, what we want to do is also have be the greenest operation that we can from a production standpoint. We don't want to come in here and build put up inefficient lighting and use up resources, dump any wastewater on the property. So. The same set of security, we're using techniques that we use across the country, and whether it's tomatoes, vegetables, any other crop, to be the most environmentally friendly producers that we can of our products. So that's where we're going to be using the sunlight in greenhouses our primary energy for the crop. So 12 months out of the year, that's going to provide the most light that we can for this crop. We'll be using looking into LED lighting solutions for additional lighting for the crop. There's times of the year we don't get enough natural sunlight. We need to supplement that, so we will be looking into the most efficient energy sources we can for that supplemental light. And I don't think it's on this slide here, but just to address the potential for light pollution. Obviously, like I said, we're going to be turning on more lights within this facility, but we don't want, and this is the same thing with tomatoes and other crops, we don't want any light pollution coming from, it's midnight, we don't want to turn in lights and be glowing, UFO in the middle of the field. So we use what we call light deprivation curtains, and we have blackout curtains that will basically enclose the entire greenhouse. We usually close them 30 minutes before dusk. So even as it's starting to get a little dark outside, we're already shutting them so that we're not any sort of light pollution there. And eyelids are completely blacked out. You could stand 6 inches away and you wouldn't see light coming through. So part of their irrigation solution, we'll be doing hydroponic production in here, and we'll be recycling all our wastewater. So no, unlike growing corn that's done out there right now, we're not dumping fertilizer out, and it's not going into the streams and the wetlands. Everything that we use is caught, recaptured, disinfected, filtered, and then treated and reused. So we're a zero runoff facility. If there is the event of some emergency, we will capture that water and we'll have it tanked off to a proper management facility.
When is your water source? Is it town's environment? Is it a well?
Local well.
A well?
And then we're using that water, it drastically cuts down. It's at least 30% less water than we would use if we were in a single pass and just irrigating once. So once again, doing everything we can to be as efficient as possible with those resources. As far as pest control and controlling diseases, we use fully organic programs for that. We use beneficial insects, like releasing ladybugs in your garden to go eat the aphids and bad bugs. We rely on those for insect control, and then as far as fungicides, we will use fully organic fungicides for that purpose. And when we are spraying, all the vents are closed, there's no exhaust fans blowing anything out, and we are, anything we put out is staying within that bubble. It is fully dry before we open up any vents. So it's fully organic, and there's no drift in any fields or anything like that. Use computer automation systems to constantly basically look at what energy we're using, our fans, our lights, everything, and just use as little as possible so we don't have to keep our electric bills as low as we can. Then we use radiant heat in the floors, so we're having heated floors in your house. It's the most efficient way to heat, and that's how our primary heat for the building will be in the concrete foundation. We put radiant heat within there to keep our heat as low as we can.
Just probably just going to cover some of the same stuff. We want to go back to the drawing Andy just for a second because it's easier to. There you go. So Tom Walsh is my name. I work for Netwatch Security. We're a remote video monitoring company. So what that means is that we supply cameras, external cameras. They have full recording capability, which is 90 days under Massachusetts under DPH regulations. So everything that's recorded is for 90 days. But also our function is they have a detection system in the camera. So if somebody does encroach onto the site outside of ours, our cameras have the capability of picking up on that movement. It comes live back to our communications hub where we have somebody live looking at it, and we can give an audio warning, a live audio warning, telling those people to get off the site. But in conjunction with that, probably one of the main things that has allowed us to be very successful in this industry in Massachusetts is our connection with local PD. We would always sit down with local chief of police to understand what the protocols around an incident like that would be. DPH, which is the governance authority over this, is now transferring into the CCC, which will probably bring over all the same security regulations onto this side as well. Massachusetts is, if you think about the last 4 to 5 years of the cannabis world throughout the states, Massachusetts probably is the most stringent on CCTV regulations and on overall security regulations. So over the last 4 years, our company, which is 15 years in business, has kitted out 4 or 5 of the current operational facilities in Massachusetts. So that equates to about 25 facilities. So we've jumped a couple of hurdles over the years to suit what DPH wants, but also to suit what local chief of police wants for the community. Along with that remote video monitoring element, what DPH will require is from your internal camera system, that will be governed on operational flow and product flow. So wherever there's product on site, wherever somebody comes in through the front door, leaves through the back door, that will have to be covered and recorded for 90 days on full CCTV images. DPH are very active about coming in and auditing these systems, so they have to be right all the time. They have to be fully maintained and serviced, which our system is. And which works in conjunction with our system is the access control system. So A local owner would have complete control over where somebody flows onto the site, whether it's a local employee, whether it's somebody that's coming in as an outside vendor. Everybody is controlled in a real organised flow as to where they can go at what times through what doors. That is generally the concept. One of the big things about our system as well is that it's almost like sending your car in to get serviced. Our system gives us a full diagnostic report on when it's working and when it's not. So this is really what DBH will be looking for, a fully redundant system, a system that actually lets you know when it's down, when it's up, if the power goes, if the internet goes down. It's really, really important to have a system that's fully working in an isolated farm situation like this. So that's generally it in terms of security. We're all here, we're open for questions later on.
So that will segue into our next slide, which is the financial opportunities for the town of Halifax. So out of this facility, the first phase, we're estimating that we can cultivate about 12,000 pounds of marijuana. And then we attach a value to that. Right now it's kind of hypothetical on how much wholesale marijuana is going to go for in Massachusetts. So we come up with a figure between $2,000 and $3,000 a pound, which gets us to some of these numbers that we have on the graph here. So basically, we're anticipating $22 million worth of wholesale sales. Again, not a dispensary, not daily traffic in and out of there for the purposes of coming in and purchasing, but daily traffic to make deliveries to other dispensaries. Minimal traffic. You know, we'll get to that a little deeper into Q&A. We'll touch on the traffic impact. But right now, with the financial projections, so we hope to do somewhere in the neighborhood of $22 million worth of sales in the first year, which translates to about $650,000 for the town for really whatever the town chooses to utilize it for. We're going to work our way through with the selectmen on where this money is going to get allocated, but basically 3% of our sales are going to come to the town. And then as we expand into phase 2 and phase 3, it potentially could be a couple $1 million to the town if everything goes like we expected to go here in Massachusetts. Potential another opportunity for the residents here in Halifax are the jobs at this facility. We have pledged to the selectmen and to you people that we will hire locally to the extent that the law allows us to not discriminate against people outside of Halifax, but we want to hire local. It's to our benefit to have employees that are local and conveniently located in the facility. So we are estimating 23 jobs, I think, in the early for phase 1, and then up to as many as 50 jobs as we face this thing. The biggest thing for any community on this issue is the financial benefit. And it's substantial for a town, for any town, but a town like Halifax has very little industrial or commercial revenue. Similar to Sharon, where our other project is, I think we have one small industrial project. The town of Sharon is extremely excited about this alternative cash flow. And then let's see. I think that's going to lead us to the frequently asked questions. Yes?
Well, what I was thinking to try to keep a handle on this, if we could direct questions to maybe Mr. Kushner, who could then defer to the most appropriate person to answer. Great. Does that work for you folks? I think that way we can kind of control who's asking and who's.
So Brian, we're going to go through the most asked questions.
Yeah, we can do that first if you like. Yeah, that's fine. So, I think looking at, we followed, Charlie forwarded us the Facebook comments, and so we paid attention to them and tried to address some of those in these frequently asked questions. And I guess one of the big ones would be the odor potentially that might come from this facility. So how did Steve, our expert, handle that part of it? We'll move on.
Yeah, certainly odor generated from this crop is no secret to anybody that might be an issue. It's definitely something we take very seriously. I've dealt with in the past, personally on multiple projects, and something that will take all our experience over the past 4 or 5 years and put that into this project. So one, we think the property itself is certainly a big, that's part of why we like this piece of property, is the remoteness of it. Being several hundred feet back from the road, in one direction about half mile from the nearest house, and then in the other direction about a quarter mile from the nearest house, and then a half mile in another direction. So that the remoteness of the property is certainly something that we like for this aspect. We've the study referenced. I think that might have been posted online, and as well as the company I work with in Colorado, we did a number of independent studies and had a third party come in and help us with analyzing how far is odor an issue if you're doing nothing about it. So we had a greenhouse in Colorado where we were using exhaust fans to cool our greenhouse, and they were blowing in one direction, and we were in a mountain valley. So we found that in that scenario, the direction we were blowing our exhaust air in about it trapped the air. Once we got outside a quarter mile, there were no complaints, and nobody could detect any smell of cannabis from beyond that. So we take that scenario and we look at what we have here, which we do have houses in that right around a quarter mile from the property, but we're doing 2 key things. First off, to prevent that odor from getting there. One, we're not using large exhaust fans to blow the odor in one direction, which concentrates it, obviously sends it in one direction. Our style greenhouse uses roof vents, so we do very passive venting. If we get too hot, we just crack a little roof vent and we seep it out from that height of about 23 feet. So what we found is with greenhouses of that design, releasing it high, instead of blowing it at ground level with a fan, releasing it higher up and gently releasing that air, greatly diminishes that distance that you can smell from the greenhouse. And then on top of that, another thing that seemed to get mentioned is hydroxyl generating units. Use those in the greenhouse to disinfect the air. NASA developed this technology to disinfect air in space exploration. So we use those kind of units above the crop right before the air leaves the vents of the greenhouse, and we're constantly running these units, which is basically it's disinfecting the air and it's neutralizing all the odor. We're not masking it, we're not covering it up, we're actually neutralizing that odor through this technology, and we can send out some links or something to some websites that talk about it. So we're using this technology, we're venting passively, and we're treating that air as best we can before it leaves the facility, and then certainly rely on that long distance that we have from the nearest houses to work with us there. Aside from that, all our post-harvest operations, where we're trimming product, where we're drying product, and we have that's usually actually where the strongest smell comes from, because it's very concentrated in those areas, and you're disturbing the product, you're cutting it, you're processing it. Those areas will all be on negative air pressure, and all air will be treated with carbon filter systems. So those systems you can't smell if you're standing outside of the room, if they're implemented correctly and engineered well. So we're certainly take all our precaution there. And so those are the main aspects of our facility that we think we're taking every precaution we can to be proactive about this issue. And then so we feel strong about that. And then just keeping in mind as we look at other past uses of the property, when we look at farming with manure or other products, we feel strongly that we can have much less of an impact on the community city by being proactive and treating this issue before it leaves our greenhouse in there. So,
Keep going, take us through 2 and 3. Still
other questions have been raised as far as vehicles coming in and out of the property. So I think we talked about roughly 23 full-time positions as we get going. This is just a 1 shift a day. We're not running night shifts and having people 24 hours a day. We certainly hope there's more carpooling and we can get that number down, but we would estimate about 20 cars a day coming in and leaving the facility as far as the work shift for phase 1. So we get up to phases 2 and 3. We look at potentially 40 cars a day loading that out of the facility. As far as deliveries, we expect phase 1, once again, probably have about 2 delivery vans a day leaving the property, coming back at the end of the day, handling our deliveries of wholesale product going out, and probably double that to about 4 vans a day on a full phase 3 build outs. And then as far as receiving, UPS truck coming in, FedEx, semis with materials. Phase 1 would be, probably looking about 1 box truck a day coming in, about 3 semi-loads of soil, pots, other bulk materials a week, and then on a full build out, probably once again 1 truck a day, box truck for deliveries, and probably getting closer to 1 semi a day or every other day for bulk deliveries of materials. Leading into how much wear and tear will be incurred by the nearby road system. We're obviously seeing this as a negligible amount. With, like I said, roughly 50 days entering and leaving the property a day at phase 3 build outs. As you look at the equivalent of putting a neighborhood or a residential development, this is a Vatican, we're putting in a 20 household development or similar down there. We've got multiple cars a day coming and going. So we see that as there's not a lot of wear and tear in the area. How the traffic enter and leave the property that was closed. We will have our driveway will be on River Street, which is currently a dirt road that leads down to kind of the center of our property off of River Street. We'll be paving that road and using that for our access to our property. And then we'll have vehicles leaving the area around 105 north and south.
Can you just read what the last section of that says? It says plus head.
there's some vehicles that head towards the center of town.
Is it like
Down your street?
cars or deliveries or vans?
Yes, semis. There'll be very minimal trucks and semis, only 1 or 2 a day. We really don't envision traffic going that way. We envision them going out to Thompson Street. Taking them left or right. But we felt like we should cover our thoughts and say there might be some traffic that goes down River Street, but clearly, 105 is the in and out for us there. It's not to go right out of the driveway and head towards right. And some of these questions were asked on the Facebook site, so that's why we addressed them. But we really feel like this is not a huge issue because the traffic. It's not a dispensary. I don't know if people thought it was maybe at the beginning and that we're going to have quite a bit of traffic there. It's not a dispensary. It's going to be limited traffic, like Steve has outlined going forward. And we will encourage people to go the other way. We got to so we're back to thanks, Steve. The benefits from the town, and we touched a little bit on that, and we can definitely open that up to discussion some more. And the preferential, our preference is to hire locally, and how we will go about doing that. We can discuss more with the selectmen and other boards going through it. This is the first step in a long process for us to get approved. We wanted to get the temperature of the community. If it's something that the town is dead set against, we're going away and not looking in the rearview mirror. If it's something the town is excited about, then we would love to work with the community and make this thing happen. So really that's what's going on tonight is throwing it out there, letting the residents know, what we want to do, and address any questions or concerns, other stuff that has come up besides what's on this list. And then we really have tens of thousands of dollars to do in site and engineering to see if we can even do this project on the site. So until we get a temperature from the town, we're not going to spend a lot of money on this, other than flying a couple people in for the presentation. But we hope to start immediately on that. We hope to leave this meeting with some good vibes and follow up with the selectmen and then get the project, start going through the permitting process. Okay, better outline how much land is used. I think we touched on that. Question that came up online is how will nearby property values be affected? With this location of this, we don't think this is a really big issue. In other scenarios, potentially it's an issue. Here I don't see a decrease in property values from our project, but I'm definitely open to discussing that and listening to people that think that might be the case. Security we've touched on. We will definitely, if the town wants to continue this, we will be talking to the police and fire chief very soon as one of our next meetings to get their temperature on this project. And what will the impact be on the local wildlife? Not quite sure what that question is in reference to, but we feel like it's a
people on this, and there's also.
Okay, so I wasn't sure if that was, the hunting, we know there might be some endangered species out there, spotted turtles, and I wasn't sure if that's what this question was about. So the hunting and the dirt bike activity out there, stuff like that, the airplane club, yeah, some of that stuff can still go on. There are other plans for the development of this property besides what we're doing. And maybe Andy can touch on that a little bit more. Maybe we're hoping I think to do a solar farm out there. So I think the whole dynamics of that piece of property are going to start to change.
We're only under contract for 47 acres. The property is a total of 1,800 acres, so we only have control through this project on the 47 acres that we're working with. It's unclear what's going to happen with the rest of the property, both in Halifax and Middleborough. The Hosmer's family is interested ultimately in selling the property. They don't plan to keep it. It's private property as it stands.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The Halifax portion of the Hasiotis property is only about 575 acres. Is that
Probably, yes.
Okay. The rest of it's in Middleborough. So.
Yeah.
Before we start with Q&A, unless you have something else to offer, it was suggested to me that perhaps the audience ought to get, while we're talking about temperatures, perhaps you'd want to have the temperature of the Board of Selectmen, and I think that would be a fair thing to provide people what our thoughts are. We've been presented with this. I'm sure everybody has some opinion on it. I know I do. Does anybody want to start? Or?
I'll start if you want. So when question 4 passed in Halifax, I personally did not vote for it because I didn't feel that at the time that there were enough laws in place in Massachusetts for things like drinking and smoking and driving and all those kinds of things. So I did not support question 4, but our town really supported question 4. And when we went to town meeting with the changes of zoning, our town supported those kinds of zoning. So when we were approached at first by this company, I felt like we needed to consider it. As you know, we are a small community that rely heavily on the residents in order to support our services. And so we're constantly charged with trying to find alternatives to that, alternatives to bringing different commercial. In fact, a few years ago, we were lucky enough to have a grant and had a famous economist from Northeastern, Barry Bluestone, come in to try and help us to figure out how, we thought we were trying as hard as we can, what other things can we do to bring in commercial-based businesses. And we basically need to move the town to the highway. So we are not attractive, so we're not typically attractive to most businesses, and that's an issue for us. We also worked a little bit with him on different ways that we can make the process more attractive for businesses coming in. Maybe we could streamline some of the things to make it easier for people to come in. So we have definitely looked into it. We're trying our hardest to find different ways of income to offset your tax bills. So when we were first approached, or when I first met with them, I had a lot of questions about the quality of the business that we would have. And obviously, being a former finance committee person, I was very interested in the numbers and what that really means to our community. But it's not worth it if it's not something that we really want as a community. I certainly could never support a dispensary because again, the laws aren't really in place for those kinds of things. Like, can somebody just sit in their car and smoke pot? Like, where does it just didn't feel comfortable. But a grow that we wouldn't even know was a grow. And again, we're going to address what it means to the area residents. So I don't want you to think that we're willing to just sort of sell our souls in order to get this revenue in, but it's something that we really have to look at as a community, because this is an opportunity for us. We could be a model in Massachusetts for this kind of facility, and we can make it a very professional, and we can have the highest of standards. So for instance, my question was, can we make the walls a little higher? Those kinds of things. Do we have a say on the design of the building so that it could be a little bit more secure? Security was a big issue for all of us, and how could we secure the area from kids on dirt bikes, and we realized that piece of land is used, even though it's privately owned, it is used by other people, but it is a privately owned piece of land. And we all need to remember that when we talk about this piece of land. And so, again, one of the questions was about the filtration of the water. What does that mean about groundwater? And so, with each person that we've talked to, we have felt more comfortable with, the way that they run their business. Again, I think it was mentioned that I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Steve has worked with Jefferson Memorial and in Colorado, and these are two places that started this process before we did. So we have somebody who has a background, but as you can see when we're talking about the smell, which was another huge issue for us, that they're making improvements on those kinds of things. So would it be the number one thing that I would personally choose for our community? No. Is it something that I think that we really need to look at because of the revenue stream and because I think it can be a very professional business and it could bring jobs to our community? I think we all need to kind of look at it. And again, this town did support question 4 by a large margin, and every article that we have presented on this particular thing at town meeting has been supported, I believe, unanimously by the residents that have attended. So that's how I feel.
Sure.
My major concern was security. I view this in the same way I would view a tobacco farm. And alcohol, that was a prohibition when we first, early on in our history. And there were kinks that we had to straighten out. And I think that what they presented tonight, it answered a lot of my questions as far as security and the order, the things that would come about. I didn't vote for question 4 either because I felt that we had enough problems with alcohol on the street, and I'd have to have marijuana in addition to it because it leads to other things. But I would, if this was a dispensary, I would be absolutely against it. But it was a growing facility. I think with the proper plans put in place, that is something that will work for the town. And I'm thinking also, the question I get most all the time from everybody is, how come my taxes are so high? And one of the reasons is, as was mentioned by Kevin, is that we have very little attraction to big business to come to Halifax. Because we are the center, the heart of Plymouth County. And roads pass through here, but we're not near any major highways that is convenient. So we don't have that problem. If in fact they do the things that they're saying they're going to do, I'm in support of it. But I like the idea that we still have a say, you still have a say in what's going to be happening here in town and giving the answer. The best way to do it, to look at it. Now, we've got a history, which was high on my list, because if it was just some Joe Blow coming out the street saying, I want to open up a farm and grow marijuana with no skills, it's different. At least we got experienced individuals that are trying to operate within the law and establish a good growing facility here in town.
And we have high standards. You know, if we're going to take this on, it is going to be the best of the best facility, and it's going to be the most professionally run, and it's going to be something that we're all going to be proud of, and not something that we're going to be embarrassed by.
Well, you guys sound like you planned for this.
No.
You said everything. To kind of follow in stride here, I also did not vote for question 4 for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is the problem we're having in the whole South Shore and the Cape and Islands and the state and the country for that matter with drug use. However, to Kim's point, the town overwhelmingly supported it and has continued to support it, as has the state. Having said that, I feel that we're charged with trying to come up with alternatives for the taxpayer. This is a big thing. Phase 1 of this project could be the equivalent of 6 Walmart stores siting in town. That would be about equal revenue. We can't dismiss that out of hand. We have to take that into consideration for the entire town. Looking down the road for the obligations of the town, we have spent a lot of money in the last couple of years with the school project, with the senior center, and we've got other obligations that are coming down the road with pensions. I don't even want to get into all of those kinds of monies. It's hard for us to look down the road and see those revenue sources other than the tax base. The tax base will be impacted over the next couple of years. It's become difficult enough for most people. We have an obligation to look at everything we can possibly look at that will not be harmful to the community. One of the things that has impressed me is the plan. Most of the questions I had, and I believe everyone else had, were covered when we first were presented with this. It's been thoughtful. To Troy's point, we're not dealing with somebody that's a startup company here. This is a proven kind of track record. We can go back and we can look at what they've done, and we can look at problems that they may or may not have had. We have that opportunity. It would be very difficult for me to dismiss this out of hand. I'm supporting this at this point, at least, until I can find a really good reason to not support it. We have to keep in mind a picture for the entire town. We understand that potentially somebody could be impacted, but our obligation is to everybody, is to the community and to the welfare of the community. And that's at least the angle I'm coming at, and I believe everybody is in line with that. We're looking at the best interests of the entire town. Having said that, we'll open it up to questions. So we're going to direct Mr. Kushner.
You mentioned about light pollution. I used to live in Halifax. I just moved to Middleborough. I live down on 105, down by the cow farm there. I go down there at night. There's no lights, there's no street lights, and I walk. And you mentioned light pollution from building itself, then you're gonna have like perimeter parking lot lights and, I mean, just something to keep that to an extreme minimum, like colors of the building, maybe trees along, but, you know, I understand it's industrial, it's probably gonna come, the town doesn't even, but I just don't wanna see it per se, you know what I'm saying? It's industrial, but it's still a farm, and Halifax has a farm, country feel to it, and Middleborough, that part of Middleborough does. And just to keep as much as possible, you know, have, you know, like security lights up on poles, emitting light all over the building. I wouldn't like this, you know, I wouldn't like that. Have it, you know, the building outside colored pink or something, you know what I'm saying? Things like those, just kind of keep it, even the outside parking lot to a kind of a double.
I will say, the last operation I personally ran was in Colorado, not in Aston, and they take care of light pollution. I mean, you can't, even at night, you can't have a single outside light in the security one that faces outwards, because they have their Starry Night initiatives out there. So yeah, I can certainly say with 100% confidence, no light pollution will come to that greenhouse. I know we have to work with a security level of parking and other stuff like that, but, you know, I'm obviously not a resident, and, you know, but come from Georgia, and, you know, so we like our farmland, and when we're out in the country, we like to feel like we're out in the country. So I can say, you know, that's something we kind of listen to, and without posing a security risk, anything, you know, employees are out of the facility, you know, like I said, you know, end of days, like our place 4 or 5 o'clock, we usually, you know, breaking down, and anything we could do, you know, we could put that.
Yeah, I mean, you got these lights all night long, I understand that, but again, just a way that, so when you drive by, you don't have to see it as you drive by as much as you know.
And the cameras, I mean, we're getting night vision cameras,
yeah.
So you can bring down the lights.
Yeah, like I said, I know the town needs the industry, but it's, again, it also has that.
I think I've heard about that, you know, planting screening plantings and certain things to, you know, to block the view from, you know, there's a certain view from a road that is really intrusive, we can certainly look into that, and if it works well for us, we don't want to put a tree against the greenhouse and block ourselves. But if you get 30 feet away,
outside the fence is not just the building itself.
Yes, so that's clearly the point, and something we can do everything we can without.
You know, just to touch upon that a little bit further, the property itself is a little less than 50 acres. It is roughly that only about 20% of the land will actually be developed. So 80% of the land is just going to stay in a natural vegetative state. In the front of the property is almost all is considerable wetlands. The Barrett Road runs through it, and there's wetlands on both sides of the brook, so it'll be shielded from the road considerably with vegetation that goes back a few hundred feet.
Yeah, but it's not that tall.
So as we go through the process, we'll just keep that in mind, for sure.
There's no street lights on it, I love it, so.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Is the airplane club going to get affected by anything here?
Our property does not touch the airplane club. The airplane club enters down here. You can't see it very clearly, but there's a field over here where the airplane club is not within our boundary.
Okay. If somebody just go through what the current planning is and then zoning changes that have to be made, my big concern is if for some reason this gets built and it doesn't work out, it's now rezoned for something else. So, you know, a greenhouse sounds great, a light, you know, shading sounds great, but if this doesn't work, is it now just a vacant building? Does a canning plant move in there that now has light and smog and bigger trucks rolling through it constantly? It's all different. So,
the property is going to be industrial. It's my understanding that historically, back in the 30s and 40s, this was used as a munitions factory.
Yes, Atlantic Research.
So there's still some old foundations and concrete walls out there from those days, and it remained an industrially zoned property, although it's not a traditional industrial area.
So we're not changing the zoning at all.
Yeah, there's no change.
There's no requirement for a change to this.
Do you have any other facilities?
Under construction in Sharon, 32,000 square foot, more of a conventional warehouse structure that will be cultivating and also dispensing of it.
Okay. When you were talking about the financial projections and you were saying they were hypothetical numbers, are there stats behind that it's based on?
Yeah, we could try and pull up some background info. I mean, there's not really for Massachusetts, on a sale level. We look at other states, and we do. That's how we kind of come up with these projections and what's going on here in the medical market in Massachusetts. So we feel like they're conservative numbers that we're using.
Yeah, I think we can, the facility, as Brian said, can produce in the first phase 10 to 12,000 pounds of product. And so that is that, I'm just curious, is that a year? What's the cycle per year? I don't know.
That would be so 3 or 4 harvests a year.
Yeah, harvesting on a regular basis.
So the wholesale prices are generally set in other states now because there's no real wholesale market in Massachusetts. And the projections are based on one calendar year's sales based on the current wholesale prices for that product.
The retail price right now in Massachusetts, if you go to a dispensary, it's about $5,600 a pound. You can't go in and buy a pound, but if you were to go in and buy, an ounce or half an ounce or whatever, it comes out to $5,600 a pound. So we have reduced that to where we think the market might settle in at a wholesale level. And again, hard to quantify, but we can work on that and come up with some numbers from other states.
I know we've, on that front, we've worked with, the group is Frontier, but one of the leading groups that will do research for investment firms and other groups is able to do markets. So they're pulling data from Washington, every state where there are recreational sales, and looking at, population sizes, how much product is the average, what percentage of people are purchasing recreational marijuana, how much product are they purchasing in a year, what are the, first year, what is, how the prices track over that time. So there's a lot of data that went into those numbers, looking at other markets. There is no interstate commerce, so every market is different. You got to kind of look at the demographics and what is going on locally, but that is using data from every active recreational state and looking at over the lifetime of that market, where do things start and where do they move, and comparing that with the population of Massachusetts and potential other tourism coming in because of that. So there's a lot of data behind those numbers, and then correlating that with a 40,000 square foot greenhouse and an expected 10 to 12,000 pounds of product a year coming out of that. And looking at, is it realistic to say that we could have that market share? We're not coming out here and saying we're going to have 50% of the market because we're greater than everyone. We're saying realistically, we can have a few percent of the market if we're a very high quality producer and a very high quality facility, and we're going above board and putting a good product out there. And what is a reasonable market share with how many other players are out there and how many other licenses have been handed out. So there's a lot of what is going into those numbers with relevant data.
I have one more question.
Please.
There was talk about the exhaust fans and generators and things like that. What are the stats on the noise pollution generated by a building this size?
Yep.
The farm?
So we're actually much quieter than a normal greenhouse. Most, I'd say 99% that are built for this purpose have the large exhaust fans, which, yes, there's certainly a noise associated with that. We use all passive ventilation techniques. So we're just opening, like I said, opening a little vent on the window and leaking out. So there's no fans, and honestly, it's noise-wise, it would get more noise from a car driving down the street than you would from 500 feet away. There's no large machinery. The biggest machinery we have is a pump, within our facility, moving irrigation water or other things. So, we feel very confident that if you're walking the perimeter of our property, you will not hear any noise coming from it, and certainly not from the road that distance. There's no huge machinery in this property.
Yes.
How did you find this?
I find you guys?
You always know what you're doing, right?
Yeah, well, I'm in the real estate development business. I used to be a family business. The last, since 2008, I've really been focusing on the cannabis space. So, with my real estate background, I visited a lot of sites in Massachusetts, and I read a lot of news articles. I mean, I started my day on Google, seeing what's out there for medical marijuana news and recreational marijuana. Spent a couple hours there, and I happened to notice several months ago that Halifax approved the 2% sales tax, the proactive approach towards this new industry, and that was really what attracted us here. I said, well, any town that's going to take that position this early in the game, we're going to go and see if we can do something.
I'd like to ask you this property chart. I understand that source of family interest in building on it. Do you guys have any thought of the town? Do you have any thought of any other spot within the town that, such as the industrial park off of 106 or anything like that? Why this spot in particular that is so far from a space that's already been developed?
It's always a chicken and egg when you look at a property. You know, what's available, how big is it, what's the zoning. This checked off a bunch of the boxes in respect to it's rural. It has very few people within a radius that will be affected by it, and it's zoned appropriately. So it seemed to check off all the boxes.
There wasn't any immediately available land in the industrial park, and there was a daycare facility within 1,000 feet too. I don't know if that impacts the siting, but that would be one of the issues there.
It's supposed to be very secure, so it's close to the daycare.
No, I understand, but I think that's actually in the legislation.
Yeah, it's just, they require us to be certain distances away from child-friendly activities, daycare, schools, gymnastics academies, stuff like that.
I have a question for the selectmen. I'm from Lincoln, so obviously when the Cisco manufacturing plant came in, there was a lot of promises on the taxes, what they were going to be used for, and essentially none of that actually came true. The taxes wound up increasing anyway. I understand the financial impact for the town, but what do we have to fall back on in the event that this gets burnt like the Plimpton Cisco money did?
Well, first off, not all the money from Cisco didn't get sent to the town. The town spent some money in anticipation of revenue that didn't quite happen. But that's when you rely on the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee. Many years ago, when Halifax had a landfill facility that BFI was operating, this town wisely chose not to put any of that money into the operating budget, but to put it into a fund. A town like East Bridgewater started using it for operating money, and then when the landfill facility closed, they were horrified because that whole revenue stream just ended. That's not the kind of thing that we've ever done. This town has been very fiscally proactive. We think things out. We haven't really come up with a plan for the money, but I assure you that will not happen in this town.
I built on River Street a year ago, and we went to the town water department to get water down the street. We were told that the $180,000 that was left over from the municipal bond to do the whole southern part of town wasn't enough to connect between Pratt and Silver Street. And so I just did some quick math in that meeting, and they were coming up with something like $230 a foot to run that water line. We had a local contractor who was willing to actually dig it for nothing, as long as the town paid for the installation of the water line, and we still couldn't even do that. So I'm just a little skeptical that I understand the town needs the money, but I've seen it in Plimpton, and I'm seeing it in Kingston with the library that they're trying to build. I couldn't even get water down the street, even though there were 6 or 7 houses that were built in that same vicinity, and the math didn't add up. I'm telling you that years ago we did it for $30 a foot, and now $230 a foot is enough to do it. So I had a huge concern with that. And also the building, everything you guys showed, because I live right there, and honestly, anybody who lives on that field, you can see clear as day across the entire field. So you did a good job of addressing the light pollution on the inside. I still worry a little bit about the light pollution on the outside.
I'm not really concerned with the traffic towards the River Street end, because if it's just employees driving down there, we get traffic there anyway. The road is a mess, but at the same time, again, all this stuff is good, but if it doesn't come to fruition, the folks that are in that area right now really help us to stop it.
Well, to just sort of answer the question, we had the same concerns about Walmart, Stop and Shop. If they didn't make it, we'd have an empty building. What we would do with it. I mean, that's true of any drives that you get involved in, because there's no guarantees.
Sure, but that's
unless they're willing to give us $2 million up front to put in the fund to say, if we don't fill it, the money's yours. I don't think that's going to happen. So we have to wait and see.
It could be repurposed for, this would make a great tomato greenhouse. It's not a facility that would only work for growing just one crop, not that if that opportunity arose, but it would be a facility that could grow,
My concern is less about the crop that it's growing, it's more about the promises of things like the privacy and the light pollution, the odor pollution, the water pollution, and those things not coming to fruition down the road. It's just there's nothing there to make me feel comfortable about, one, the taxes going down because of the revenues, and then two, once this actually, the construction starts, what's to say, it didn't work out, and we're not going to do the screening now inside, and now we're going to have all that pollution up until the night. And again, because we can see clear across that field, there's nothing stopping that from happening, so it's just a major concern about us.
One of the things you have to kind of keep in mind too, it is zoned industrial. Any industrial operation could in fact come to town and want a site there.
And so it doesn't stop me from voicing that.
No, I want you to voice your concerns, that's why we're here. I'm just pointing out that other things could be even more egregious. It's really hard to make those calls. At some point, we have to get as many guarantees, if in fact this goes forward, as we can legally get to control the environment. But, we probably have more opportunity to get controls on this than we would with any other industrial type setting. This is kind of what we're doing with that. I'm not minimizing your concerns, I'm just saying it could be worse as well.
We hear what you're saying too. We will do our best to live up to everything that we've presented tonight and go further. The external light pollution was something I wasn't even thinking of until it was brought up tonight. So we'll go back and look at that, and we'll figure out how to deal with that. And I know there's ways to deal with it. So we'll address that. And to your point of what if we're not successful. I hope that doesn't happen, but it's not a vision that I see, but I do hear what you're saying. We're going to do our best to work with the selectmen and every other board to make sure everyone's as comfortable as possible to get this thing going.
I think Bert had a question.
I just wondered if you could speak to the formula and how you ran it now as far as what the revenue would be. Is it, I think I read 3%.
Yeah.
What,
so
how do you get that?
So the law allows community to implement this 3% community host agreement, it's called. So that if our projections hold up, it's all based on these hypothetical projections. Unfortunately, but with a lot of financial backing from other parts of the country, so we feel confident that these are correct. So if we can do the $22 million of sales in the first year, then 3% of that, the $650,000, I think, will go to the town.
I read it said only if that's for medical marijuana, but then...
No, that would be for recreation.
Okay. Yeah. So 3% still whether it's for whatever purpose.
Right, so if there is another provision, if you have a dispensary in your town, so there's a 3% sales tax at a retail location. So there are some towns that will have a dispensary, they'll have a cultivation facility, so they'll be getting... Yeah, so we're limited by the law at 3%. at the
And
moment.
the revenue to the town is only based on what your production is. We don't have anything based on the tax base of the property.
There will be a property tax on the property as well.
So that would be an addition.
It will get you to the 650 that will be similar to the value of that property. Property tax is subject to in-person
Because it's actually a piece of
Hey, well, so now being familiar with the regulations, laws in Massachusetts, is all of the cultivation and all of the products being produced on these 47 acres? In other words, are there restrictions or even set up by the town that would say you needed more than 12,000 pounds in the course of a year that cultivated product would be brought in, processed at your plant, and then shipped out from there? Or is this strictly Halifax, what's cultivated here on the 47 acres?
It's a good question. You know, we've only contemplated strictly what's grown here at the facility, but now that you bring that up, you know, if we could go either way. If the town doesn't want us to do that, we won't do it. But now that, honestly, I haven't thought about that.
There's no Massachusetts regulation regarding that?
No, I think we would be able to purchase from another licensed cultivator and bring it to our facility and
Process it and ship it?
Yeah, yeah. But it's not our intent to do that, and we're happy to take that off the table, the license that are on the table, but we can.
And my second question would be, as far as the security goes, has it been in practice in the past, you had issues in the past where, I know you're talking mainly your concern was people coming in, facial recognition, cameras, motion detected. What about the product that may be going out? Starting out with 23 employees and hopefully coming out to about 40. Are there procedures in the past that would safeguard, are you checking people leaving the facility with product, dogs, canine, instruments?
So we don't, well, I think our truck dog would probably have a heart attack in our facility. Make up what's what, but yeah, certainly that's something, yeah, we take very seriously. So
Inspections, that type of thing?
So when you enter the facility, the first thing we'll do is we have changing rooms. So when I come in, I have my jeans and a shirt on. My first step as an employee to come in is to go into the laundry room, change out, and we have freshly laundered scrubs or attire that the employee would wear, and then you get a pair of Crocs or something similar, a work shoe. So for our own biosecurity, so we're not bringing in pests, insects from the outside. We change out as soon as we come into the facility. We put all our clothes, everything in the locker room. You don't bring a bunch of pail in, you don't bring the water bottle in. You come in, and frankly, we honestly don't leave. So the pocket shut, you don't take your cell phone. You come in for the work day, you go out there and work. And then when you come out to leave at the end of the day, you were changing back in, you were leaving those clothes, they were being laundered at the end of the day, and then you were leaving. So the only opportunity, like we said, not even a solid water bottle comes in and goes out. The only opportunity for someone to take something would be, you have to grab it on your person somewhere and get it out of there, but there's also, when you've got 20 people working around you, there's kind of a common mentality that, you probably have to have just about every employee while you're doing the work, while you're on product, you're on camera, so there, between being on camera while you're working, having nowhere to stash it, nowhere to take more than, a tiny little, piece out on your person or something like that, that's about the most you could reasonably get out of there without someone noticing. And if there is any concern, we have 90 days of camera footage backing up. Anywhere that project hasn't been, we can go back and check that night. In 2.5 years of running the facility in Colorado, we never had a suspected incident, or we did have instances where we checked the cameras and we'd go back, and we never found any proof that anything had left the facility. With inventory tracking, at every stage of this process, anytime you're drying a product out, you're moving it from one form to another, you're taking waste, you're doing that on camera, you're entering that into inventory. So if anything's even a fraction of a percent where it shouldn't be, then we're going back to cameras, we're checking who handled that product, and we're looking for what that discrepancy might be. So there's really, you got about 5 layers in there, and you're really talking about, if someone really wanted to throw a lot in their mouth and sneak it out a little bit fast, they might be able to do that, but any real level diversion is, there's a lot of layers in between there.
And it's high up on our, watch list to keep an eye on. Because we want to prevent employee theft. We're as concerned about that as we are about somebody breaking into the facility. And we think heavily regulated, like Steve said, everything is on camera. And it is my intention to have smocks that don't have products in them and do the things that we need to do to protect our product.
Hi, I'm Stanley Rose, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Airlines, and I just want to follow up along Brian's answers, which was, do we potentially conceive of bringing stuff into the process of manufacture or whatever? We haven't thought of that, but we don't want to preclude that, and I'll tell you why, and why it's beneficial to the town for us to potentially do that. We will be asking for 2 licenses from the town, one as a marijuana cultivator and the other as a marijuana product manufacturer. And that enables us to process flower into oil and other products or infused products. The oil is more expensive than the flower, which means our sales are higher, which means the revenue to the community is higher. So we wouldn't want to say that we're not going to do that. We don't envision it. We envision the manufacturing of our own leaf. Depending on the changes in the marketplace, there may be a greater need for oil than there is for leaf at a given time, and we may in fact end up doing that.
So we will continue that discussion with the board and see how it plays out.
Does that mean just switch from a simple greenhouse to a manufacturing plant of some sort?
Not switching, but there's 15,000 square foot. Yeah, I would say it's more of a conventional warehouse facility.
You have to extract the oil. There's going to be, you have to put it in the glass tubes. I mean, I've seen them all, so you have to.
Yeah. So there will be a building that we house that process in, and again, the same, every bit of security and oversight that goes into the greenhouse part of it will go into the processing. And everything is on surveillance camera, very, very strictly regulated.
Any questions?
I don't know if somebody is just concerned with licenses in Halifax, but I think my concern rely a lot with the gentleman from Rose was talking about, there's a lot of talk about the impact to the environment of the plant once it's in operation, but we didn't talk about the impact of the environment of the build, timeline of the build, the impact it's going to have on the residents in the neighborhood, and there is going to be an impact. And if all that happens, and I totally understand that, there's not enough numbers to give concrete projections from Massachusetts, but I'm not comfortable in with Halifax being anything along with Sharon. And you're able to present numbers that you're able to present, and I understand that, but my concern would be that we would accept this, and there would be a huge impact to us as the residents, to our wildlife, to the ecosystem, and then the revenue wouldn't be there because there weren't concrete numbers.
If I may, there is a projection from the one of the Massachusetts Mass Revenue Department has projected $1 billion in recreational and marijuana sales by the year 2020. And that's a conservative estimate. Many of the industry keepers of figures and sales in Colorado and Washington and every place else as this develops, and every single state has its own whole area of rules, regulations, prices, cost structures, markets. They're all entirely different. But based on experiences in other states, those groups that are in the business of projecting these numbers have gone as high as 1.5 or 1.7 billion in Massachusetts for the year 2020. But I gave you the most conservative, I gave you the most reliable figure because it's from the Mass Department of Revenue, which has predicted sales for medical and recreational, $1 billion in 2020. Most of that will start out for the year 2018 when recreational first, right now it's all medical. As the recreational market opens up, a larger percentage lower in body year 2020 will be recreational as opposed to medical. But that's their number one.
Part of this process, excuse me.
No, I totally respect that. We're still a guinea pig project.
Yep, I agree.
And it would be.
I don't know if
there's not enough evidence in Massachusetts to show us that it's a strategic risk.
Yep. So I think over the next few months of talking to the selectmen and the planning board and going through the process, we'll be able to make them comfortable and the residents comfortable with the numbers that we're projecting. And I feel very, very confident. Like Stanley said, we know what the market is going to be here. We look at other states that have just instituted recreational marijuana sales, and there's tremendous shortages in every aspect of the food chain. So we feel very confident that we're going to be able to generate the numbers.
What do you anticipate the financial investment is going to be in this project?
Phase.
I can tell you the facility phase one, we've got about a $10 million budget to construct that facility, 40,000 square feet greenhouse. I think what we can say with confidence is that the market will be there at a reasonable size. I think it's our ability as operators to put in a world-class facility there and succeed with our business. And I think there's a lot more we can put, we can present as far as past operations that we personally run, been involved with. But I think the market will exist. I think that's what we feel confident in. It's are we putting forward a world-class facility, and are we operators that can live up to that? Obviously, we have confidence in that. I think there's maybe more we can do to show that to the town here.
Yes, sir.
I was just the directors of the board of selectmen, could we get a guaranteed minimum on what your projections are? Just say another cultivator comes into Chicago and opens a plant there in this competition. And suddenly what the revenue was expected is not happening. What we thought it was going to be, and we're the ones that best assume that we're the ones that told them on the bag.
Right.
But it's a guaranteed.
Yeah, it's a great question. It's our understanding currently the way the regulations are playing out is that we cannot guarantee a fixed figure, but we would certainly consider that and continue to explore.
As that's something we can discuss.
Yeah, as the Cannabis Control Commission starts to come out with their rules and regulations, they may tweak that one, but currently it's tied into the percentage of sales, or percentage of sales.
Up to a maximum of 3%.
But we think there might be an opportunity to head down that road. We just can't for sure say that right now because the regs aren't up.
I just want to address, I understand what concern people really do. I don't like to use the word guinea pig because it has such a negative connotation. And so I want you all to know that this is the very, very beginning of the discussion. We're going to have public forums going forward. This is just sort of to take the temperature of the residents. And so I don't want you to think that we're just sitting back saying, oh, we're going to believe everything, every number without vetting things. This is really, we've been, for those of you who've been in town for many, many years, we've been very innovative. We may be small, but I always say we're mighty. We were one of the first communities to recycle. And so we have a record of looking at things that are new and trying to make it be the most professional thing that we can be the most proud of. And this may not work out, and we're all aware of that. We're aware of it, and we're not going to just go into it blindly. We want to make good decisions. But this is just the infancy of the project. And so they haven't even engineered the property to see if even it is able to be built on. And so this is just really a discussion, but please, please know that we will have more forums, and we are taking any questions that you have. You can contact the Selectmen's office at any time. But I really think it would, if this all works out, I think it could be a benefit for our community. I really do.
Well, I look at it from this standpoint, as my background is personnel management, and someone brings a resume and it looks good, they interview good, then 2 days later they're gone. There's no guarantee, that what's being said is going to be done, but all we can do is to prepare ourselves as best we can to make sure that all our needs are met, at least 90% of it, so that we can at least go down the road with an open mind. I agree with you, as my wife said to me, how can you possibly support somebody that you don't smoke, you don't drink, to other people do? So we have to look at it from that standpoint. As was said earlier by my compadre, we try to do what's best for the whole town, realizing that not everybody's going to be happy. Any decision this board makes, 9 or 10 times, 50% is going to like it, 50% is not going to like it. So we have to do the best we can.
Yeah, and we have high standards. And the thing about it is that we vet things. Our least favorite color is gray. We really look at things and vet them because we want to be part of our community and we want Halifax to be a place where people can live, that can afford to live.
Aside from the money aspect of this, I've been in town over 40 years now, and that drive down 105 is absolutely beautiful, and it always has been. I remember 4 years ago when they were talking about putting an airport in there, I was horrified, and that came close. That came close. But having said that, as far as the property goes, and I understand everybody's concern, it is a beautiful hunk of property, but the reality is the Hasiotis family is going to do something with it. Of course, that always makes me think about springtime and the 20 tons of manure being dumped out there, which we were talking about earlier.
It's only once a year.
I understand, but that just came to mind, and I remember all the complaints coming in about the smell. But anyway, that aside. To Kim's point and Troy's point, this isn't a done deal. And then this board, if anybody knows any of us, knows that it's going to be vetted. And it's going to have every opportunity to succeed if, in fact, we go down that road. But again, we owe it to everybody in town to look at this thing. We have to take a hard look. And if it has the potential of being successful, and a lot of it's a guess on our part, but something's going to happen on that property eventually. Be it this, be it something else. There are worse possibilities, and I'm not basing my decision on that, but there are worse possibilities. But we will take and do our due diligence with this. And to Kim's point again, there'll be more meetings, there'll be more vetting, more questions, and no question is a bad question. We're encouraging everybody to ask whatever they have. So having said that, I'll turn it back to you.
Yes, on the aisle.
Oh, I just had, so is this a town meeting vote or just a vote for the select?
No, I believe it needs to go.
Yeah, I don't believe it's a town meeting where we've got to work with the Selectmen, we've got to work with the Board of Health, Conservation Commission, and Planning.
Well, anyone who's been around town long enough can remember that where Walmart sits right now, was going to be a rubber plant manufacturing company sitting on that lot. You can imagine the smell coming from that. So things happen for a reason. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I was on that. All the stuff, security and everything. I mean, I live on Woodsy, I can actually see what's going to be going. I'll be able to see it from my back deck. All the stuff about security, it's, what are the thoughts on people tampering with the building with all this, seems to be a lot of stuff with security, fences, walls, I mean, something like that. This is, that guy. That's neat, right?
One of the things you mentioned there was tampering. It's actually a great question because the system that we're putting in, the camera system, is what we feel tamper-proof in that when there's nobody on the facility, basically there is 2 other cameras. So if there's 20 external cameras, it's like having 20 on-site security guards on the site. And really what that's doing, it's just protecting the site in the night time. It's able to differentiate between if it's a human on site, if it's an animal on site, just taking away having someone on the site all the time. Really that's what it's. And if someone was to come up during the day and touch any of the cameras, if the power was to go on site, if the internet was to go, we know about that as a company. So it's fully redundant. And we always know that the security is working there. One of the great features of this is that we have a direct link with the chief of police as well. So when we call them, they know exactly what's happening on the site because we're visually verifying. Unlike what you might be used to with a traditional burglar alarm, where nobody really knows what sets off that alarm. We're visually verifying and we're letting people know what's going on the site, and there's nobody there. So it gives that kind of peace of mind to the key holders, to the police, and to the community in general.
And all of the security measures are state. We have to follow these regs, you know. With the remoteness of the site, we feel like we want to make sure that we're protecting the exterior as best as we can. You know, some facilities in different locations, the security might not be as intense, but here, because of the remoteness and the regulations behind it, I mean, every inch has to be on video.
One other question, other than the flow we want to start the project tomorrow, what type of a time frame do you have? Are you looking to get started in 6 months, a year, 2 years? I mean, if the residents of Halifax, they can't get approval, in 8 weeks you abandon the project and go someplace else, or will this linger on for 3 years? Or do you have a time frame?
I think it's very hypothetical. There's a bunch of steps in the process. We first got to engineer the site from the standpoint of can we build a facility this large and you know, stay on wetlands and have septic that works and have a building that conforms to zoning code and meets all the security regulations. So there's a bunch of technical details we have to fill in the blanks on between now and actually construction. It'll probably take about a year. I guess somewhere in the 6 month to a year process to go through the approvals before construction can start.
We're hoping that around it by the end of 2018. We'd love it to get through sooner, but that's we were expecting to begin construction the spring of 2019, unless we can get things going quicker, which would be, we'd love to get through the permitting and start construction late summer, and potentially be up and producing a lot quicker. It's just a matter of working our way through the boards here and making everybody comfortable. And I'm sure there'll be residents turning out for all these meetings. And we welcome the feedback. We will, Charlie has posted on the website our presentation. We will make sure that any comments that come in, we will address them immediately and consistently going through this process. And we look forward to having the opportunity here.
What would the elevation of the building be? So the support structures will usually be about a 16-foot, 14 to 16 feet height on that. The greenhouse, and this is something that we could certainly work with. We normally do about the peak of the very top of the peak of the greenhouse is usually about 23 feet. But depending on building codes and other things, between 18 and 23 feet would be the absolute tallest. 18 feet would be about the shortest part of the building. So somewhere in that range.
Okay.
Who are your top competitors, and what is your value proposition in comparison to those competitors?
Right now, we don't see much. We don't really. Competitors, I guess, are 15 medical dispensaries that are licensed and up and running right now and producing. We know that there is about 100 licensees like us moving forward that haven't opened or are under construction. So we don't really know what the competition will look like in the recreational side of things, but we can look at what's open for the medical, and we can say, okay, if they have a cultivation facility that can produce 5,000 pounds a year, we can do that down the line with these dispensaries that are open, and say, okay, there's 15 open, if they can all produce 5,000 pounds, that's 75,000 pounds that they're contributing to what we believe is over 300,000 pounds a year demand here in Massachusetts. So the competition, it's a hard question, really. There's no competition that we're aware of right now that has gotten approval for recreational cultivation. The cannabis community is a pretty small community, and we hear what's going on with other applicants in other towns, and there's nothing that we see that's addressing the recreational cultivation at the moment. So we feel like there's no competition for us right now. And if we can get the quicker we get out of the gate here and up and running, the quicker we can start generating some revenue.
Safe to say you're a first mover then?
Yes, absolutely.
What agreements, if any, have already been made to the Osceola family, and if not, is there a time frame for commitment?
Yeah, so we have had 50 acres under a purchase and sale agreement for a few months now.
Is that consummation of that deal contingent upon this approval process?
Yeah, it's contingent upon the approvals for basically what we're proposing, the greenhouse cultivation.
Just coming off,
Oh, no, we're like that job.
Tax that you mentioned earlier in your presentation apply to a cultivator or distributor such as yourself, or just retailers?
So that's where we get the 3% versus the 6%. Yeah, 3% is our sales into the wholesale market. There's an opportunity for more if you have a dispensary also. Then you could.
Which is in the space you don't participate in.
Right, not in Halifax, no.
It was on our finance committee.
Perfect.
No, we like it.
You mentioned earlier, Stan, you want to sales. I presume that's at the retail level. If that's true, where are the connection at the wholesale level?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we'll work on kind of a hard number for you on that one. We only, these statistics are offered by several new publications, relatively in the last 5 years since recreational has taken off across the country. So they're tracking this stuff. We can provide the boards with these statistics, and then we'll take it from there. I mean, I guess we have to figure out the wholesale, because the number that we are talking about is a retail projection. So let us work on that.
Typically a 50% markup, like in Colorado, Washington, other states. If we sold a pound for $3,000 to a dispensary, they're going to break that up and get $6,000 back for it. So typically it's a 50% markup, from wholesale to retail. So if we look at $1 billion market at the retail side, that we could potentially be looking at $500 million on the wholesale side.
But that varies, and it's why the market is different, because if you buy an ounce of marijuana, you pay, let's say, what's an ounce go for? $3.50 an ounce. But if you buy them in eighths or quarters, you're going to pay more. That's just the way it is. A half an ounce isn't half of $3.50. It might be 60% of $3.50. So the local market, to some extent, based on the individual sales and how much is being sold in each individual sale, determines the percentage markup based on cost. And that's market hasn't happened here in Massachusetts yet. And the Oregon market may be a little different from the California market, which is all over the place, from the Denver market. So that's why I'm giving one of the residents had asked me, the highest number that I had was from the Mass Department of Revenue that's $1 billion in retail, and whether that's 500 million or 600 million in wholesale, that just remains to be determined.
We'll work on that one to try and come up with it.
You mentioned $1 billion annual sales by 2020.
Yes.
I presume that's also at the retail level? If that's true, that's a really big question. You mentioned earlier that you produce 12,000 pounds annually, 12,000 pounds annually.
That's what they're projecting.
$600 per pound. I come up with 67.2 million. If you're saying 50% markup, that would be 38.6. Or
what was your price per pound?
5,600.
Yeah, 3,000 on our wholesale.
Yes. I take half of 67, it ends up being 33.5.
We're hypothesizing, and you know, I appreciate you were trying to get a higher number from us.
So to break it out fully, we're looking at about 6,000 pounds of flour a year at a facility, and we're projecting a $3,000 wholesale. So 6,000 pounds at $3,000 a pound would put us at 18 million. And then we'd be doing roughly 3,000 pounds a year of trim after we manicure the flour at a value of $750 a pound. So that gives us roughly another $4 million there. So that $4 million plus the 18 million puts us at our 22 million at phase one build outs of gross sales. And then 3% tax.
That's a totally good numbers.
Yeah, so Steve takes it to the next level on breaking it down from flour to trim. I just try and keep it simple and put a $3,000 price tag per pound.
Try to understand. And you mentioned one more time up to 3% host something agreement?
Yeah, community host agreement.
What does up to mean?
Maximum can allow.
Could it be zero? If so,
Well, we would hopefully sign a community host agreement with the town, and we would go with the highest allowable number, which would be 3% of our sales. Now, all of the sales numbers, you don't have to believe us, the state audits us like the bank commissioners audit the bank, so that's common knowledge what those sales volumes are.
So the 3% is the maximum allowable.
That's correct.
That's negotiated by the select.
At this point.
We're not looking to negotiate that down either. We're offering 3% today or going forward.
Okay. What, if any, infrastructure improvements are expected from the town?
I don't think there are any. We're going to end up doing the roadway improvement.
Yeah, there's no offsite improvements needed.
Yeah.
There will be on-site septic, there's no sewage. There, at this point, we're looking at using on-site wells for irrigation. We'll have to bring down power, but that will be on the town's time.
Two more quick questions. What towns are in competition with Halifax?
Could you speak up?
What other towns are in competition with Halifax?
Again, we haven't heard much of anything other than there's a very large project in Freetown that's been approved for medical cultivation, 1 million square feet of greenhouse. So other than that, one project which is for medical, I haven't heard of any.
I think there's one in the Lakeville Industrial Park also. It's starting soon. I'm out of town, so people look for it.
Very good. So there's probably a medical dispensary about to open in Lakeville, possibly, that has cultivation.
And last question for me is more of a clarification. I think earlier, this gentleman here asked about water. Would that be town water for well?
Yeah. We're looking at wells at this point. We haven't done any well testing, so we've got to determine whether we've got enough capacity, but at this point, we're looking at wells.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Unless anyone has a really good question coming for that we haven't already touched on or absolutely needs a clarification. We've been almost 2 hours now. I think I'd like to wrap it up unless anybody really desperately wants to ask something. Okay, see no showing hands. Thank everybody for coming, for participating, for asking questions. It's just the first round. There'll be more. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. To go into executive session.
Okay, great. Yes.
We're now going to go into executive session. Thank you for staying with us. We will not be coming back into regular session when we conclude our executive session, so this is the end of the meeting for everybody out there.
And we're going in executive session to discuss contract negotiations with the Patrol Officers Union. Holding this discussion in public session would be detrimental to the town and the negotiation process.
What Charlie said. Thank you.
Aye.
Motion.
Yes.
Motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
Troy seconded. All those in favor?
Yes.
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 Now we throw
A troublemaker. Always a troublemaker.
No, it's supposed to be yes
Yes.
for executive. Yes, isn't it?
Aye. Yes. Yay.
Everybody always did yes.
Affirmative.
Okay, whatever.
Unanimous.
So we have to wait for,
Yes.
aye.
Yeah.